We all know the show on TV called The Loud House, right? If you don't, it's basically about an 11-year-old boy named Lincoln with six sisters and his adventure with them and his best friend and new friends. But do you know the real truth behind the show? I want to first say sorry to for the people who love the show and is reading this, but you have been warned. Now that's out of the way, let's go ahead and start on the truth, shall we? First off, I want everyone to look at the pictures of each family members, starting from oldest to youngest. Do you see any resemblance? No? Then you're right. They look nothing alike, especially Lincoln, whose hair is white then brown or blonde like his sisters. That's because they are not related. In fact, they are not even alive. Yeah, I'll start from the beginning to the oldest sibling in the Loud House family, Laurie. Laurie is one of the most popular girls in school. Pretty, smart, a huge idol for everyone. All the girls want to be her and all the guys want to be with her. Her heart, however, is only towards this boy in her class named Bobby. She was absolutely in love with him, but he never notices her. She was quite angry about this, believed she wasn't perfect or pretty enough for him. She tried everything to get his attention, wearing inappropriate clothes, flirting, even stalking him. On the night of the school prom, she had enough of Bobby not seeing her. Thus, she practically pretended to be his date, seeing how far she went to be with him. He took advantage of tricking her for sex, making her think he loved her. The next day, he showed the whole school nude pictures of her of that night, making all the boys think they can screw her all the time. In worry of being raped or tricked again, Laurie killed herself with a gun she found in her dad's car. In the afterlife, she is still in love with Bobby, which is why she keeps on being on the phone with him and acting like his girlfriend. However, he never died with her, so he was never seen or heard in the show. The next sibling is Lenny. The next is the second sibling, Lenny. Lenny is Lenny is wasn't always the stupid blonde as she is in the show Afterlife. She was actually smarter than anyone in her school. She was indeed pretty for a smart girl. However, no guy wanted to date her. Not knowing the reason, Lenny started trying to figure out why no one will go out with her. She started wearing more makeup and dresses that were too tight or too short for her. She practically changed herself into a stupid girl for boys. She was too blind to see what she was doing. All her friends were blocked out of her life, and she had gone of many dates with boys, acting a way of someone she's not. One day she signed up for a date from an online person. The person wasn't even a teen. He was just an old man who thought she was pretty cute and stupid. Of course, as she was acting dumb. She met him in the park after school. He raped her and then killed her with a rock. In the afterlife, she still acts dumb due to the boys calling her stupid blondie. Now we're going to Luna. She grew up with a father from London while her mother was Sweden. Now you see where she gets her accent. Anyway, back on topic. She loves to rock out with her friends and signing at open concerts. Her father will always get drunk at home and hit Luna and rape her mother, which is why she sings and plays music as a way to get her mind off of the stressful life of hers. She was soon killed by a beating night before her audition for a talent show from her father. He beaten her before raping her corpse. Now is Luann. She was an ordinary schoolgirl who wanted to be famous and funny, but she wasn't funny in people's opinions. She tried everything, pranking, cracking jokes, and joking herself. She thought it was funny for people if she hurts herself, so she did. She then jumped off the school's roof for a good laugh, killing her. In the afterlife, she still tries for laughs. Lynn Loud Jr. is next. She was a very strong child who always loves doing sports. She always wants to make her parents proud of her, so she works hard in all the sport teams in different schools. She started doing drugs to be stronger. She then died from an overdose in drugs before a race. Even in death, she still tries hard in sports. Lincoln's story is pretty much the saddest, mostly why he's the main character. He grew up with no siblings, so he always do stuff all by himself and on crazy adventures by himself. One night he sneaked out of his house while his parents were asleep. He found some high school boys who who wanted to hang out with. Eager to be seen as a grown up, he met them up. As soon as he met up with the older boys, they immediately hit him rapidly and ripped his clothes apart and took pictures of the boys putting their hands on him. As soon as Lincoln broke free from their grasp, he ran, which led to them getting in the car and ran him over. That didn't kill him tough, so they butchered him in the ways that no one can imagine. He soon died when they drowned him in the lake. After that, he still goes on adventures, but now listens to his parents. Next one up is Lucy. As hard as you may believe, but she was a complete opposite as she was in the afterlife. She had red hair and wore bright clothing. She never really spoke to people due to her being shy around people. How she died was pretty shocking from her ways in the life before. She was walking home from school when she didn't come home. After months of looking, her body was turned up in ways that no one recognized her. Her red hair was dyed to black, her clothes changed to goth, and her throat was slit wide open. In the afterlife, she enjoyed her new look and pain, thus she became the goth sibling. Lana and Lola are up next in the family. Here's when things get confusing. They are actually the same person, just split personalities. In the daytime, she comes out as Lola, the girl who wins pageants and wear makeup. At night, she becomes Lana, the tomboy punk who enjoys getting dirty and such. They were seen in different times, which gives them allies for each other. How they died is pretty sad. They were found out by a friend's big brother, who strangled her when she tried to run away. In the afterlife, the split ways of the girl became two different girls. As for Lisa, she grew up in a life of science since her mother was a chemist and her dad was a doctor. Wanting to change lives like they do, she started reading and going to school earlier than most kids. Making her the youngest in her classes. She would often get picked on by her older classmates, which sometimes for some bad bruises that her parents sees when she gets home. Ages or sex doesn't matter to them. They just were a bunch of jealousy losers, as she called them. One day in the science class of her first of high school at the age of 4, someone of her class poured some alcohol on her for winning the Smarty Pants fair in the beginning of the school year. It didn't stop there. When she was sent to the bathroom to clean up and cry in the stall, a few freshman boys, some of which the ones who killed Lincoln, sneaked in and held a gun to her head, saying to act like a big kid and do big kid stuff, which led them to forcing themselves on her at turns before lighting her on fire. Once the police got there, she was already gone, and the boys were arrested quickly due to one of them confessing. The last one is Lily, the youngest, and the baby was actually the twins' real form. In the afterlife, she was reborn as a baby while her split feelings and peoples lived differently. During the show, they all meet up in the afterlife and acted like siblings for each other. Thus gave them the idea to be a family. Clyde became friends with Lincoln soon after he died from suicide when his parents didn't pay attention to him. So when he died, he got the parents he wanted. He then became Lincoln's best friend and became somewhat a family member. The parents, however, are there as guardians to make sure they don't mess with human lives and such. Okay, some parts in this story are true. Okay, just because the people don't look similar to each other, that doesn't mean they're dead. They might be adopted or something. What do you guys think? Is this story true or fake? Let me know in the comments below. This is Ronnie Zamora signing off.